Thanks for joining me, Paul Fontaine of Keller Williams Real Estate in Philadelphia. I have a special guest today, and I will let him introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Adam Funk. I work for Garden State Home Loans. I'm a mortgage lender and mortgage broker licensed in Pennsylvania, New Jersey. I've been doing this since 2012.
Well, thanks for joining us today. We're going to be talking about credit scores, mortgages, pre-approvals. And the first question, I did a search in Google, and one of the most searched terms is, what is a good credit score to buy a house? And so what are your thoughts on that?
So different loan programs have different credit score requirements. And depending upon the risk threshold for a given client, this number may shift a little bit. But in general, at the bare minimum, if you've got a credit score of a 580, I can usually get an approval on an FHA loan. Definitely can get an approval if you're above a 620. On the conventional side, it's going to be a 640 for credit score. If you're a high net worth buyer who's looking into jumbo loans, then you're going to want to be looking at a 680 or a 700 for your minimum credit score. All right.
And FHA stands for?
The Federal Housing Administration. So they are the ones that are federally backed loans through the Housing and Urban Development.
Okay. So I'm sure this happens to many people if they pull their credit score and find out it's not exactly as high as they would like. To have one or two tips that you might want to share to help them do that?
It's always great to have your credit report looked at so we know, because it's really hard to know exactly what your score is, and Credit Karma is not accurate, which is a service a lot of people use. The best way to build strong credit scores is on-time payments. It's the number one factor, so make sure you're keeping your debt paid on time. One late payment will set you back several months of on-time payments. The other piece is making sure you keep your accounts from going into collections, or if they are in recent collections, possibly paying them off. You don't always have to pay off the collection accounts, but the collection accounts are the second big piece that are going to factor into having your scores low.
When you're going to get a mortgage, you have to get something called a pre-approval letter, correct?
Correct.
And so one of the other search items I found was kind of a mortgage pre-approval checklist. What would be maybe 3 or 4 or 5 checklist items that would be on that pre-approval mortgage checklist?
So when we're going through the pre-approval, what we're going to need is your credit report. That's number one.
And
we're going to need all of,
And how do they get that?
We run it through our services. Any loan originator, any mortgage company will have a service that pulls their credit report for you, so it can be done.
Cost for that?
It should be free of charge if the lender is worth their weight.
Okay.
So it shouldn't cost the client a thing up front.
Okay.
After the credit report, we're going to get your asset and income information. So making sure and seeing what assets you have available for the house purchase and what your income is to make sure that you can qualify. And then we're also going to go through your employment history and some personal details like date of birth, social security number, current address.
Okay. And then you put that all together, and then you're able to tell them how much of a home they can afford?
Correct. So we'll take that full financial and credit profile, put it together. From there, we're able to piece out what you can qualify for. If you are eligible for a home, if you're not eligible for a home, we can give you the credit and asset guidance on the steps you're going to need to take to get yourself to a point where you are pre-approved for a home. So you should, even if you're not at the point that you're ready to buy, it's a great phone call to have, because you can make sure you have all of your ducks lined up and in a row so that when you are ready, everything's squared away and perfect and you're set up.
Great. And then how long does that in general take?
So the pre-approval really only takes about a half hour over the phone to go through all of those details. It takes about 15 minutes to gather your information, and then to go through the pre-approval details and any information we want to review is going to take about another 10 to 15. So it's a pretty quick process.
Super. Great. Well, I think this has been good information. I'll put your information for contacting you in the video, but if you want to just let people know how they can reach you in case they want any assistance, go ahead.
Yeah, the easiest way to reach me is on my work cell. That number is 215-792-3232. And you can also reach me at my email address, which is afunk, AFUNCK, @gardenstateloans.com.
Great.
So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.